So you guys are ready for knurling for whatever reason. You have a project that needs a grip pattern on it. So I'm going to show you how to set up the lathe in order to take that cut and make sure that you're doing it correctly. Okay, so in the tool post, I have my knurling tool. And so I have it on the opposite side right now. So that's what's nice about these tool posts is I can position up to 4 tools depending on how they're set up. So I have my turning tool over here. You don't have to take it out. All you're going to do is loosen your tool post and rotate the tool around into the proper location. But before I do that, just notice that this wheel goes up and down. So it's actually auto-centering for the height or the elevation. So you don't have to put shims underneath or anything. As long as you have it in there correctly. Sometimes people will accidentally put this upside down. Just notice that this hump's bigger towards the top than it is on the bottom, and so it needs to go facing up, that bigger side. So you're going to have that tightened up in there, 2 or 3 of the screws depending on how long the shank is. The one important thing is make sure that the tool is square to your actual part, so that the wheels, the whole surface of the wheel contacts. So the first step that I do after I have this thing chucked in here, my part, is I bring it around, I tighten down my tool post, and then I just bring the tool up to it. Okay, you're going to turn on the machine. If you look at your instructions, it tells you to go in low gear and set the RPM to about 200. So you guys should know how to do that at this point. Okay, so I have it turned on. Right now I'm really slow. I'm at 56 RPM. So I'm going to go ahead and go up to about 200. Okay, 196, perfectly fine. So now I just want to advance my x-axis. I'm starting off on the right side toward the end. I just want to plug it in, basically, gently, and then turn the machine off while it's still engaged. And I want to see if it's cutting across the entire surface of that wheel. And it may be hard to see in the video, but it's cutting most of the width of that wheel. It's starting to make an impression of diamonds, which is what we want since it's a diamond knurl. Now I know that it's set up correctly. If it wasn't, if it was cutting only on the right side, I would loosen up my screws and I would turn the tool a little bit to the right so that it was squared up and made sure that the whole side of this tool was cutting on my part. So now, once you're set up, once you engage it like this, you never want to disengage with knurling. So that means I don't want to come off on the z-axis and I don't want to pull away on the x-axis, because once I start tracking those wheels in, if I come off of it, I'll have trouble getting it back in the same location. You'll end up with like a double knurl. So now I'm going to go ahead and actually set this up to run the actual knurl. And for that to happen, you guys are going to be using power feed. Now I have this set to what's called about 9 thousandths per revolution. So basically the power feed is synced up to the RPM of the machine. So the faster the RPM goes, the faster the power feed is going to go, which is why we have you about 200 RPM so that you have time to react. Because you will be making the slide or the actual tool go towards the chuck, and you may be getting very close to the chuck, so if you're not careful, you could run right into it. So in order to set this up, I'm in low gear, which we already said. I'm going to be using my power feed, which in this case, I want to start off going towards the chuck. I will be going back and forth with this. Then I want to set my speed. So for this, I'm going to be at C3 on these lathes. So just make sure this is on C, and this is on 3. Okay, if you have trouble finding 3, you can go all the way to 4. And just go one click back. Like if you're trying to find out if this is 2 or 3 or 1 or 2, just go all the way over, 1 click back. Now when I turn the machine on, the way I know that it's engaged properly is my 2 power feed screws should start turning. So if I turn this on, now I see my screws are turning, and that's good. Now in order to actually activate the power feed, I have my power feed handle right here. Now for knurling, the only way you want to be going is moving along your z-axis. And so for these lathes, the only direction you want this handle to go is up. Even if you're going in or out, it doesn't matter. You're going to change the speed or the direction over at the headstock, but this handle should only ever go up. If you go down with it, you'll actually jam your tool into your part this way and you'll break it off. So for right now, before I get going, I'm going to go ahead and put some cutting fluid on the part. This operation needs cutting fluid. Okay, so a little bit of cutting fluid all the way down. Now, I'm going to go ahead and engage my power feed after I advance. So I touched off the tool, but really I want to be going about 20 thousandths of an inch in. So I'm going to go to about 0.020, something like that. Okay, once I'm at that point, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my power feed. Once I turn on the power feed, you never take your hand off that power feed lever, and you never take your eyes off the part so that you don't accidentally run into the chuck. So now you'll start to see the hand wheels turning on its own. My hand stays on the power feed lever, and you're going to knurl as far as you need to knurl. Okay, so if that's an inch, you go an inch. If that's 10 inches, you go 10 inches. It depends on the project you're making and the print that you have. So right now I'm going to go about to this location. That would be my stop point. And I just go ahead and disengage by pushing the power feed lever back down. Now, in order to switch directions, okay, I have to turn the machine off, change the power feed to go to the right, back out of the chuck, turn the machine back on, and then again lift up. But now it's going to be coming back out. So you're going to go in, you're going to come out, and then you're going to stop it and you're going to check the knurl. You're basically looking for fully formed points on the knurl. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is I don't want to let this go all the way off the part. I just want to get it to where the right side of the cutting wheel is at the right side of the part. So right about here is where I want to stop it. So you never want to actually bring the tool off the part once you've started. Now I'm going to go ahead and use some compressed air to blow up the oil, and if you can see, it's starting to make that diamond shape. So now all I would do is advance the cross slide some more, another 20 thousandths or so. Okay, so now I'm at about 40. Switch my power feed back towards the chuck. Turn the machine on, a little bit more fluid since I just blew it all off. Power feed engages. I'm watching it, monitoring it. Making sure I'm not going to hit anything. Okay, so once I got to my stop point, I turn it down, turn the machine off, switch directions. Okay, turn it on, lift it back up, and it's going to come back out this way. You basically want to go back and forth and then advance the cross slide a little bit more. Now, every time I advance it, I usually check my progress to see how much more I have to go. At first, you'll just start to see the diamond shape, and then you'll start to see the diamond knurl or the points start to form. So once it gets to the right side of the part, I disengage it, turn the machine off. I look at it. I don't even need to blow it off to know that I need to go further in. Just want to tighten my tool up a little bit. I feel like it might be sliding on me. So if you feel like it's not cutting, make sure everything's tight on you. Okay. So I already advanced about 20 thousandths or so. Change the direction of my power feed. And now I would let this go. Okay, and I would watch it, stop it. Okay, and then this last time I'll just kind of go back out and then I'll show you a fully formed knurl so you get an idea. So I stopped it, reverse directions, lift it up, it's going to come back out. Okay, now for this one I need a couple more passes, but if you guys want to see, basically what you're looking for is it to come to nice points in between the diamonds. If you still see little divots or holes in there, you need to advance the cross side a little bit more until you start getting a good knurl. But pretty much that's all you need to do.